What's up, guys? It's UnholyRider here. This time on a 2016 Victory Gunner, and just doing a little test ride during a demo day Victory had at the local motorcycle shop in my area. Doing a voiceover since my audio wanted to be complicating, but we'll make it work. So the Victory Gunner is 649 pounds drag weight. No ABS or cruise control. Displacement is 106 cubic inch, and it's a 1731 cc. It's a pretty decent, weight to bike, weight to engine ratio. Definitely could feel the weight with its handling. Didn't handle all too well. I mean, I didn't have a problem with it, but you could tell that it feels a whole lot lower than, or it is a whole lot lower than what it feels. I found out the hard way. Took a turn and scraped a little peg. But other than that, the weight's not too bad. It's air and oil cooled. You got a multi-plate clutch, which performed actually pretty well. I mean, most of the clutches in most of Victory's clutches in their bikes are all pretty much the same from what I've read, and they seem to perform fine. And I'm riding a brand new bike in this video, so I can't tell you longevity, how well they do over time. But I haven't heard anything bad about Victory's as far as maintenance issues. The exhaust on it was stock, obviously. It wasn't very loud. Stock exhaust, what do you expect? It did its thing. It had a 6-speed transmission in it with overdrive. Shifted very smoothly. And it felt really content with being like 45 miles an hour in third gear and just cruising. The dash on the motorcycle is not the dash, but the little it was like analog digital speedometer and odometer. It performed well. It's like the one that was on the Octane, just with a white background instead of charcoal gray or black background. The front and rear suspension, they both felt really well put together. They felt good. Not too tight, not too loose. It was definitely more of a cruising bike compared to the Octane. The Octane is more sport oriented, or muscle oriented. That's what Victory is trying to put out for the Octane. The headlight and the overall cosmetics of this motorcycle looks really good, classic looking. It's got that flat greenish looking paint job. Always was a fan with that. It also comes in a flat gray looking paint job, kind of like what the R6 comes in 2014. One of the reasons why I was so interested in the Gunner. The brake systems were not linked, obviously. Front brakes. Single floating rotor up front and 4-piston caliper. Serious braking power for having a single disc front brake. That caliper does a number on your braking. It was actually very decent. Rear brakes, single floating rotor and 2-piston caliper. Brakes seemed fine. It had great braking. You need it with all the extra weight. The overall bike in itself, the handlebars were pretty out there. They felt good. The only complaint I had with this bike really was just how heavy it was. But I'm also a noob when it comes down to cruisers, so I'm not used to having all this weight. And I can't. The only other cruiser I have any experience to compare it to is Victory Octane. And if you want to see that video, check out my channel. I have the same type of video up for the Victory Octane. Excuse me. Ground clearance wasn't that amazing. I mean, it looks great how low it is, but like I said, you take in the corner just a little bit. I'll throw it up. I'll throw the clip at the end of the video. See if you can catch it. If the camera caught it at all, but it looks good, but it doesn't perform that well. With such a heavy bike taking a corner, it wasn't like it was a very hard corner at high speed or anything. I was turning left on from one road to another, and it was just kind of like how I take any normal corner, low speed. It could have been me because I'm a noob, but I'm really thinking it was because of how low the bike was. In my opinion, the only things I'd change on it is maybe levers. These levers actually felt extremely more loose than the Octanes did. And I mean, when I say loose, I could grasp the end of the brake or the clutch lever and move it up or down almost an inch. And I'm not a big fan of that. I like everything to be tight and solid and reliable. I feel like that was cheaply and kind of hastily put together. But that's just my impression of the bike. That's the impression I got out of it. Everything else was actually very impressive with functionality. Everything was simple yet functional. Handlebars look great. They don't look boring or anything. They're not just there. They have a little bit of style to them. Victory is good about that with their styling, with their bikes. I feel like this bike might benefit from at least a small windshield or windscreen. I feel like that would look good. I'm sure there's aftermarket parts for it. Nothing too much to say about the Victory. The Victory Gunner. The Victory Gunner did a great. Victory did a great job with the Gunner. It comes out to $13,499, and that's starting price for the 2016. 13.5 isn't too bad. I think it's a little overpriced with what you get out of it, but it's not slow, but it's not fast. I don't know how to explain it. The power is there, but you have to really kind of work for it. Other than that, I think it's a solid motorcycle, and maybe some basic modifications to make it yours. Someone would be very happy with it. But I think that's all for now. This is Unholy Rider signing out.